Home is the foundation of security, identity, and the chance to thrive. Our research reveals how displacement in temporary accommodation erases that foundation. Protecting all children is all our responsibility, regardless of where they come from. Their home is our home. Their heritage, our heritage.
How do we all meet?
We met at the Theatre About Science conference in Portugal.
That's right. You and Nadia were presenting your Champions research on displaced children living in temporary accommodation in the UK, and I was presenting a new play about Isaac Newton, himself a displaced child who lived in temporary accommodation during the English Civil War of the 1640s.
Yeah, that's right.
So what is the greatest challenge?
The challenge has really been to get the public and the policymakers to see these children, who really are, most of them born in the UK, as essential to the heritage of our country.
Because if they thrive, the country thrives.
Newton's early childhood, before the age of 6.
One of two critical periods in a child's life, when their brain is really growing at pace.
Yeah, that's right. He spent that early critical period living alone in his grandmother's attic, where he would take a piece of black coal and daily trace the sun's movements, the shadows it made on the walls and floor of the attic. This whole period Newton would later describe as a time when time and space were his playthings and light his only toy. And had the local apothecary, the local pharmacist, if you will, had he not taken Newton in and raised him in a stable home, and then eventually got him a scholarship to Cambridge, had he not recognized the extent to which Newton's childhood heritage would be key to something greater than Newton's worldview, no pun intended, history would have turned out very differently.
So in a way, it's Newton's personal heritage that then became pivotal in humanity's scientific heritage.
Exactly. Newton's childhood heritage connected him to the universe and its laws of motion and gravity that he would then go on to write the science for that changed everything.
And Newton's story really shows us how, just in simple ways, if a child is nurtured, what really can become of them, even if they're brought up in a safe home, albeit a little bit unorthodox.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah, because Newton wasn't invisible. He had an identity.
Exactly.
Yes, someone gave him opportunities, and really as a country we should also be giving these opportunities, and we should be very proud of doing that, wherever a child comes from, wherever their home and wherever their journey.
So this is exactly what sparked One Home, One Heritage.
Right. The idea that the stories in your Champions research could become the basis of an immersive theatre experience in which an audience could live a day in the life of a child displaced living in temporary accommodation.
We shouldn't be seeing our children as a national resource burden, but really critical to our cultural heritage.
Yep, which is exactly why we're here at Pro today.
Exactly.
How are you? I'm James. Nice to meet you.
So, Pearl came to be because we wanted to explore how people interact with the environment, and we realised that you can only really do that if you understand how the human mind interacts with the environment, because it's the human mind that creates the reality that we believe that we are seeing or feeling. And so I wanted to build a facility in which I could create an environment which was big enough that it's bigger than people can imagine, so that they are lost inside it. And then we create the world that we want them to have, to give them the illusion that they are in a reality. And then we can study how do they respond to that reality by studying their brain, their various physiological responses, and also by asking them how they feel about that reality. So that was kind of the mission. So then I asked an architect to build us a building, and they said to me, what do you want to put in the building? And I just said to them, the world.
Pearl's vision is to create a world in which people and the environment can thrive together as a system in a mutually beneficial, safe, equitable and healthy way. This vision drives everything that we do. We can use this in many, many ways for the arts, pushing the boundaries of the arts, but also bringing the arts back into how science is done so that it can inform a more integrated understanding of the world and a more holistic approach to its design.
Pearl as a simulation facility is an amazing and exciting space to develop an immersive theater piece in. First of all, it's the biggest black box I've ever worked in. It's huge. It's extraordinary in its technological capabilities as well. You can do anything here, lighting, sound, smell, so it really allows you to immerse an audience in a mental, psychological, sensory, and physical world in a way that most theater makers dream of when they work in a black box space.
Creating that illusion of reality is what this place is all about. And that enables us to understand how people respond to that illusion, because that's what they do in real life. So that's kind of how this place works.
As the community engagement lead on One Home, One Heritage, tell me a little bit about what you see as the next steps.
So the next step for One Home, One Heritage is going to be about deepening the engagement with the champion research participants, mainly to co-create with them the project content.
Tell me a little bit about the kind of trust and relationships that you've built with those participants.
Building actually on the trust and relationship we already have for the champion project. We will identify community members and then we will work with them closely to mainly the co-develop, as I said, like the project content, so we can capture their stories, their heritage, and their cultural expressions.
Interesting. And so it's a participatory approach, you know, their engagement. Tell me a little bit about that.
So the participatory approach is about ensuring that the research participants are not only just participating in that project, but also they are an equal partner in the project direction and impact.
Oh, I see.
And also they are active co-creator for each phase of the project.
What are your long-term goals for the One Home, One Heritage Immersive Theatre Project?
To create change, fundamentally. It is to connect the research from the Champions Project to the public through this innovative, amazing, immersive experience, where the public will feel more than anything what it is like to be a child in temporary accommodation. And that is just so powerful. And we believe in that. We believe in that impact to then ripple out and create change nationally. And yeah.
Internationally, because actually all of us in the world can be displaced at any time. We all need a stable home, and through nurturing we can all really, really thrive. So yes, we're starting here at Pearl, but ultimately we would want to take this immersive theatre exhibition really nationally and actually internationally to other countries as well.
Right. To create and develop the project here at Pearl, and then potentially find some sort of venue in London, a more traditional theatre venue, potentially national touring companies, and then eventually some sort of scalable version of the project, which almost becomes a conceptual art piece, which we can then present at the Cannes Lions Film and Creative Festival, the Avignon Theatre Festival, the Venice Biennale, etc. World cultural and theatre events where this kind of work is presented.